Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Brothers channel. And today I'm going to be reviewing Gordon Hayward's new signature shoe with Anta. And this is the GH1 Alphanext. So I guess that's what they're calling it. If you guys do want to cop, I'll leave a link in the description box. It's going for only $100, which is a great deal. It's pretty much in the budget range price for basketball shoes. So yeah, let's get it started off with the Tracciones. So as far as the traction goes, in the forefoot we have 3 pivot points, which is interesting. And then here along the back of the shoe we have, it kind of reminds me of tiger stripes, so that's what I'm going to call it. So first off, on a clean court, it has a really good stop, but on a dusty setting, it's not very good. Like for me, it just wouldn't bite very well on dust, and it's pretty difficult to wipe off. So I was playing, it would pick up dust pretty quickly. I would have to wipe off, but like really wipe. And then once it got clean, I would only get a few good stops, and then it would pick up dust really quickly again. So for me, in my experience, it wasn't very good on dust. And as far as outdoor use should be good. The rubber here in the forefoot where the pivot points are seem very hard and durable, as well as in the back. I mean, the rubber lines here in the back feel pretty soft, but it's a pretty thick rubber. It's not super thin, so I feel like durability even on an outdoor court should be good. So mainly if you're playing on an outdoor court or on a clean court, these should be nice. Dust, not the best. As far as the heel to toe transition goes, it's very smooth. You have a little bit of a curved shape here in the heel, curved shape here in the forefoot. You have some nice flex as well. So heel to toe transition is buttery smooth. As far as the cushion goes, so they're using a full-length A-flash foam midsole, the same cushion that's found in, I guess, most of Klay Thompson's signature line, or his main signature line. And it feels a little bit different than the KT4. So in the KT4, it was a little too soft. Maybe it's because they didn't cage it and they made it really thick, especially in the heel. But this flash foam feels bouncier. When I was walking around, I couldn't really feel the cushion setup as much. It was just slightly plush, slightly soft. But once I got going, once I started running and playing, I could feel the nice little bounce, especially in the heel. It feels nice. And then in the forefoot, it thins out a little bit, it stiffens up. But I can still feel the forefoot being, soft and plush. So it's more of a responsive type of cushion with a little bit of bounce once you start running, once you start playing. And it feels nice, when you're running down the court, you can definitely feel a little bit of bounce. And then impact protection is good, court feel is good, rises up a little bit in the heel, but it's not a huge deal. But yeah, overall, a very nice cushion setup, but you're not going to be blown away by it by no means. It's more of just a responsive cushion with pretty good impact protection and a little bit of bounce once you start running. Alright, moving on to the material. So in the toe area, you have a synthetic leather, and it kind of surprises me. It feels really nice, especially on foot. Conforms to your foot really well. And then once you get into the midfoot and heel, they're using what they call an A-web upper, which basically means, I guess, mesh. So they're using a mesh and I guess textile material. Like when you first get it, it's a little stiff, but it softens up. And also another thing I really like about it is that it's super thin, especially here in the ankle area. The only type of padding that there is this Achilles pillow. Most of it is just paper thin, so it makes the shoe feel really minimal. So quality wise, it's not bad, especially for the price, and it feels really nice and comfortable on foot. Continuing on to the fit, I went true to size and it fit my foot pretty well. Width wise, I would say it's normal. The tongue is attached to a material that goes underneath the material, kind of like a half booty tongue, which improves the fit compared to an independent tongue. And the overall fit was actually really nice. Not a lot of dead space anywhere in the shoe, and anywhere in the midfoot or in the forefoot. Also, this shoe is really easy to put on. The high heel tab makes it easy for your heel to just slide into the shoe. For support and lockdown, this shoe is incredible. Here in the forefoot, you have this plastic plate here coming up a little bit, so it acts as a sidewall for lateral containment, and my foot was not going anywhere. And I also think the material does help as well. It's a supportive material. Even though it moves with your foot really well, it doesn't stretch at all. So that helps a lot with support. I had no issues with lateral containment. And for lateral stability, there's a nice low and wide base here. So I mean, it's not really an outrigger, but the midsole does extend out a lot. So I felt laterally stable, even though this is basically a low. And of course, in the back of the shoe, you have Achilles pillows, which helps lock your heel down. And I didn't have any problems with heel slippage. So as far as the weight goes, it comes in at 12.95 ounces. That's like 0.4 ounces heavier than average. Not a huge deal. And it feels pretty light. I like the overall feeling of the shoe. The material, especially here in the toe area, is overall pretty thin. and they keep it thin throughout the entire upper. Like I said, the only padding that there is here in the back is just these Achilles pillows. They keep it paper thin. The tongue also doesn't have a lot of padding. You know, usually I like to have a lot of padding here in the tongue, but it wasn't a huge deal. I guess the only thing is the midsole is kind of chunky. I feel like they made the overall footprint of the cushion a little too big, in my opinion. You know, it just feels a little heavy underneath your foot. Or maybe it's because of the A flash foam. You know, it's probably not the lightest cushion, but whatever it is, it feels a little bit heavier underneath your foot. You know, kind of like Vans. You know, the canvas material is super minimal, but then underneath your foot it's super heavy. It's not to that extent, but it still kind of feels like that. But yeah, overall it's a light and minimal shoe, and you feel very quick playing in it, you know? You don't have to worry about this shoe feeling laggy or slow. The only thing I would say is the traction on dust for me, in my experience. As far as ventilation goes, the ventilation is not good. There's absolutely no ventilation, which is the downfall of synthetic materials or just leather materials in general. The leather really doesn't wick away moisture either, so it was pretty damn hot in the shoe. As far as step and comfort, I mean, you know, you can definitely rock this off court and be pretty comfortable. You know, the cushion is pretty soft. Like I said, I couldn't really feel it as much while I was just walking around, but I'm super light. If you're heavier, you should be able to feel it a lot easier, and the material is pretty comfortable on foot. So this should be a nice casual shoe if you choose to rock it off court. As far as durability goes, I mean, it should last a while. The rubber outsole seems very durable, and then this material seems very well put together and durable. You know, even though it's thin, it doesn't feel flimsy or anything. Moving on to the aesthetics, I like it. You know, Anta is doing a really good job designing shoes as well as leaning. Like if you look like 2-3 years ago, you're like, what are they doing, you know? But some of their recent releases have been very, very nice, and the designers are doing a really good job. So tell us your thoughts on the aesthetics down in the comment section below. But wrapping things up, for $100, this shoe is a banger. You're getting pretty good tech. I mean, A flash foam they're using in, you know, their main models, you know, especially in the KT line. The materials aren't bad. The performance of the traction is pretty good, or really good besides on dust. But like I said, I play on a dusty court, so and having to constantly wipe, for me personally, I don't like it. It's annoying. I would rather just, you know, just play, you know? So I would change the performance on dust. Maybe it has something to do with the outsole being translucent. Here, even on the blue part, it's, I would say it's semi-translucent, and then the forefoot is fully translucent. So maybe if it was a solid rubber outsole, it would be a little bit better. And also another thing I would change is the heel compression. I mean, you see this heel caging? It comes down here into the heel a lot, and it cages the foam where there's literally 1 millimeter of foam exposed, so that you can't really feel any type of heel compression. And I don't know how I felt a little bit of bounce in the heel. Maybe it was the actual foam underneath my heel actually compressing, and not the midsole here outside of the shoe. But I would have liked it to be a little bit softer. I feel like, you know, if they went up like 3 millimeters, it would have felt a little bit better. But that's just my opinion. I like to have a softer cushion. But that's about it. There's really nothing else I would change. So this is a solid pick, which also looks very good. So again, if you guys do want to cop, I'll leave a link in the description box. That's my review of the Anta GH1. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next one.